You ever wonder how your phone can just instantly recognize your face, or how your smart speaker can still understand you even when the Wi-Fi's down? Well, the answer is this really powerful tech that's moving artificial intelligence from way out there in the cloud and putting it right into the palm of your hand. It's called Edge AI, and in the next few minutes, we're going to break down how it's pretty much changing everything.
And this quote, it just nails it. Instead of sending all your info to some faraway server, all the thinking happens right there with you, on your device. It sounds like a simple switch, but trust me, it has these massive implications for speed, for privacy, and for how we use our tech every day.
So to really get a handle on this, we're going to start with how things usually work with the cloud. Then, we'll introduce Edge AI, check out all its pros and cons, and finally, see how they're actually coming together to build what's next.
All right, so to really get why Edge AI is such a big deal, we got to look at how things have been done for years. And it all starts with the cloud and this fundamental problem of, well, distance.
Okay, so think about asking your smart assistant a question. The moment you speak, your voice data gets all packaged up, shot across the internet to a huge data center, maybe hundreds, even thousands of miles away. It gets processed by a super powerful AI, and then the answer has to travel all the way back to you. Your device, it's really just the microphone and a speaker. The actual brain is somewhere else entirely.
And that whole round trip, that is exactly why you sometimes get that frustrating little delay between when you ask a question and when you get an answer. We call that latency. But beyond just the lag, it kind of makes you wonder, right? What's happening to my personal data, my voice, my photos, all my info, when it's being sent off to that distant brain?
So, you got this one model, the Cloud AI, where data takes this long, winding trip from your device to a server and all the way back again. And then you have Edge AI, where it's just this simple, direct loop happening right where you are. That difference right there is the fundamental shift we're talking about.
So, we've got these problems on the table: latency and data privacy. And that's when a new hero enters the picture, Edge AI, which brings all that intelligence right back home to your device.
So here it is, the core definition. Edge AI just means the artificial intelligence algorithms are running directly on the hardware itself. We're talking your phone, your car, your smart camera. And by totally cutting out that long trip to the cloud, it delivers on two massive promises: way lower latency and much better privacy.
You know, here's a great way to think about it. Cloud processing is like shouting a question to someone across a giant field and then just waiting for them to shout back. But with Edge AI, that person is standing right next to you. The conversation is instant, it's private, and it's way more efficient.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics, because this is where it gets really cool. Let's look at the three incredible superpowers that this kind of local processing unlocks. This is where Edge AI really starts to shine.
First up, speed. Because there's no round trip to the cloud, the response time is just boom. We're talking milliseconds. Think about real-time translation apps or those camera filters that track your face perfectly no matter how much you move. That kind of instantaneous feedback is only possible because the processing is happening right there on your device.
The second superpower is privacy. And honestly, this one is huge. Think about unlocking your phone with your face. With Edge AI, your biometric data, your face, is analyzed and verified locally. It never gets sent to a server. It never, ever leaves your phone. Your most sensitive personal information stays exactly where it should be, with you.
So this really shows where Edge AI is the most valuable. It's perfect for times when you might not have internet, like using voice commands in your car when you're out in the middle of nowhere. It's absolutely essential for things that demand instant responses, like the safety systems in self-driving cars. And, like we just talked about, it's a no-brainer for anything that involves sensitive data.
But of course, it's not magic. Running powerful AI on a little device comes with its own set of challenges. Every hero has its limits, right? And it's really important to understand what the trade-offs are.
So there are three main things to think about. First, you've got processing power and just plain old battery life. Running complex AI takes a lot of energy. Second, the AI models themselves have to be a lot smaller and more efficient just to fit on your device's memory. And finally, yeah, it can work offline, but its ability to learn and get updated is pretty limited without connecting back to the cloud.
And I mean, this really puts it all in perspective. The chip in your smartphone is an absolute marvel of engineering, for sure. But it just can't compete with the raw, brute force power of a Google or an Amazon data center. We're talking literal warehouses packed to the ceiling with servers. There are just physical limits to what you can do in such a tiny space.
So if the cloud has basically unlimited power but it's slow and has some privacy question marks,
and the edge is super fast and private but has limits, what's the solution? Well, that brings us to our last section, the hybrid future, where they learn to work together.
The key takeaway here is this. It's not a battle. It's not edge versus cloud where one has to win. The future is all about them working together, each one playing to its own strengths. It's about creating a system that's smarter, faster, and more secure than either one could ever be on its own.
So here's how that actually works. Your device handles all the immediate, simple stuff. For example, it recognizes that you're saying, "Hey, Smart Assistant," all by itself, locally. That's the edge part. But for your really complex question, like what's the best route to the airport, factoring in live traffic and the weather forecast, it securely sends that query up to the cloud to do the heavy lifting. You get the best of both worlds.
And that really brings us to the final thought. As this hybrid model of edge plus cloud just becomes the new normal, our interactions with technology are going to become seamless, they're going to be faster, and they're going to be more trustworthy. So I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. What will a truly instant and private AI actually change for you? What new possibilities open up when our digital world can finally react as quickly and as securely as the real one?